So let's assume you have decided to put vibration on your NG2 or your IG2 practical project. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you put a vibration hazard into your risk assessment, how to phrase it perhaps. Then we'll talk about the legislation which you need to use in your specific legal arguments later on. So let's get into it. Firstly, remember we have to use real hazard categories given to us by NEBOSH, and here are the hazard categories. And vibration is a hazard category. Fantastic. So we'll use that one there. So we'll type in vibration. Now, chances are, and I said this for an earlier tutorial on noise, you're probably only going to have one vibration hazard if it's for hand-arm vibration. Remember, we have hand-arm vibration and whole body vibration. If you have both types of vibration, you may have two vibration hazards on your risk assessment, but you probably want to group all of the hand-arm vibration into one hazard, because again, there's no point duplicating the information as who might be harmed and how and the what you're already doing. You know, if you've got 3 different vibrating tools, the controls are going to be the same for all 3. The who might be harmed and how is going to be very similar for all 3. Just group them all together, because that's what we would do on a real risk assessment. Now we need to describe the hazard, and don't just say something like use of the sander, because as I said in a previous tutorial, this is not a hazard. A sander is a piece of equipment when it has many hazards. Use of the sander is an activity, and again, it has many hazards. Which of those hazards are you talking about? Well, you're talking about vibration, of course. So let's write that in our hazard description. So, which type of vibration do we get from a sander? Well, hand-arm vibration, obviously, because it's a tool we use in our hand. Hand-arm vibration from the sander. And let's talk about something that's harmful. You know, is it low vibration, high vibration? Do they use it for 8 hours, 5 minutes? Let's talk a little bit about this. Hand-arm vibration from the sander is over 5 meters per second squared and is used for long parts of the day. That tells the examiner, tells whoever's reading it, that this is definitely a problem. We have to get across what's harmful about the hazard in how you describe it. So in the who might be harmed and how, well, just like in the previous tutorial, we need a who and we need a how, obviously. That's what it says here. The how is both an incident and it is a harm. So we need to say, the painters and decorators use the sanders for up to 4 hours a day. That is the incident. The excessive use is the incident. It's the mechanism, it's the exposure to the hazard, which can cause short-term. So it might be cool actually to show our knowledge of acute and chronic here. Hey, how about that? How about we show our knowledge of acute and chronic, which can cause acute symptoms such as tingling, or chronic symptoms such as, and you know what I'm going to say, hand-arm vibration syndrome. Or you could say vibration white finger as well. Give us a harm, give us the injury. Now, can I just give you a big fat malpractice warning here? Do not copy what I'm writing on this risk assessment, because loads of you watch these videos, and if 2 people or 3 people copy word for word what I'm saying on this, that's going to get picked up by NEBOSH's automatic malpractice detection systems, and they're going to know that you copied it from me. So please don't do that. Please write your own hazard relevant to your own workplace, use your own words, and hopefully you'll be able to pass this on the first attempt. Now, in terms of the controls, we want to make sure that we show our understanding of the hierarchy of controls. We have to introduce all of the legally required controls, and we have to reduce the risk to a low level. So go to your course materials, which set out the laws, the hierarchy of controls as it applies to this, and all of the different controls you should use. Now we're going to talk about law in a moment. Which law do we use for this? Well, it depends if you're a national or an international student. If you're a national NGC student, then you will go to the control of vibration at work regulations. So we're going to use these. Do not use an ACOP, do not use a guidance document, do not use HASAWA. This is it. This is specific to the hazard. Anything required by this has to go into your controls, either this column or that column, whichever one. So if you have a lot of vibration, which we seem to with this, that's a lot of vibration there, you're going to have to do a number of things. You are going to have to try to eliminate that vibration if you can, or to control it in various other ways. So maybe like buying lower vibration equipment. You're gonna have to look at the design of the equipment, look at the handles, look at the absorption and so on. Notice the things which are required here. Health surveillance is required. We've got monitoring against the exposure limits is required. Information instruction and training is also required. So make sure you get those things on your risk assessment because these are legal requirements. Without those, it's just a big fat fail, isn't it? Your risk assessment should bring you into legal compliance. And you would also use that legislation a little bit later in your specific legal arguments. If you choose a vibration action to take forward in part 3, you would refer to the control of vibration at work regulation. And I'll tell you how to fill that in a much later tutorial. Now, if you're an international student studying the IGC course, the International General Certificate, well, maybe you just type in ILO recommendation for vibration or something. We've got a little bit there. Maybe we can have a code of practice for vibration. And yeah, this one here. So we've got the code of practice on the noise, control of noise and vibration in the work environments. And so that's got a load of legal requirements. Remember, IGC students, you must use ILO conventions, recommendations, or codes of practice in your specific legal arguments. And also have a look at that document because it will help you decide what has to go into these 2 columns right here. This, what are you already doing? And the further controls required. So hope you found that super useful. Any questions, please get in touch, and I'll see you in another video or tutorial.